So we're going outside, and for the first time, we're going to be doing 9v9. So I wanted to do this video. It's probably going to be long, but it's going to have everything that you need to know about 4-3-1 in a 9v9 formation. I'm really going to go super deep into the theory behind everything, some principles and all that. So this is, if you're looking for that 4-3-1 formation, this is the video for you. Now, I'm doing this in one take, so I'm probably going to make some mistakes and I'm not going to edit them. This is just going to be it. So let's start. And yeah, the way that I wanted to start this video was kind of at the end. So what I'm trying to do is really establish how I want to end up with my teams in the final third. That's how I wanted to end up in this formation here. And then we're going to work backwards to where we're starting, which is building out of the back. So this is where we ended up. And I'm just going to go through the positions here. But before we start, let's talk about some principles here. This is the wide space. This is the half space. The half space, it's from the 18 to the 6, just right there. This is the center space, half space, and wide space. Okay. These are really important because they're going to be different triggers. They're going to be different situations where I want the players either in the center space, half space, or wide space. The way I wanted to end up was I wanted one of my wingers to take that ball, to receive the ball on the wide space. Let's just do it with dribbling. They're dribbling into the half space there. And then now, because the ball is on the wide space here, this player's movement should already be, they should already move one half space to the strong side. And then now we've got one player, two player, making those runs in. So we have now 3 players in the box. We have this player over here as our safety, just someone in the back that we can get the ball back to. And you can see sometimes this is where they can shoot the ball. So we essentially have 3 threats. And if you count the player with the ball, 4. So if that goalie cheats out, then that's kind of what you have there. So this is where we're ending up. And then you can also talk about this player too. Everyone again should be moving one half space over. Okay. So if we're ending up here, let's talk about how we get there. Let me just delete this ball. Good. So here are the positions right now as they stand. We have our 2 defenders, center defenders. We have our center defensive mid. We have our 2 fullbacks. That's right, fullbacks here. Which are inverted, and we'll talk about that, why they're there. This is the inverted fullbacks. And then these are attacking midfielders, and this is our center forward, our striker. So let's talk about the principle here. The principle that I'm getting across to my players is simply that every single player should have someone that they can reset the ball to, that they have a, we call the safety, someone behind the play that they can use in case they need some help. So let's do these triangles here. Oh, that's probably going to take too long. Yeah, there's no triangle. Okay, so for these 2 players, our safety player is here, our fullbacks. Same with this side, safety player, fullback. Now we need a safety for these 2. These 2 players have our center defensive mid, who's their safety as well. And each side also has a defender that is a safety for them. So if we work backwards, then we can say safety, number 1. Safety number 2. And then safety number 3. And in each of these situations, what we're trying to do when we get that ball to safety is first we look to switch that ball right away. So let's say the ball is on this side, and I'm not going to be shifting everyone because that's just going to take too long. But imagine everyone is shifted one half space over. So let's say we make this pass here. We've used our safety, and we use our safety because we can't go forward. So the space is usually on the other side. So we go backwards to get the ball to the other side. So first thing they do before they receive that ball is they should be looking up to switch. If they cannot do that, then they look one safety back. Now this player could switch that ball. And again, if they can't, we look back to where our furthest center defender goes into a very safety position, which is in our R half. And then we use him to switch that ball. Okay. With me so far, hopefully. Good. Oh, all right. So now let's talk about how we get here, because this is in the opponent's half. We're going to get back into this situation. Okay, that's gonna, these numbers are gonna get really annoying that they're there. Again, I'm doing this all in one take, so. Oh. There. There. And there. Okay. Let me just erase these numbers because we don't need them anymore. Delete. And then I'll just move these guys out of the way here. All right. So the ball's with our goalkeeper for a goal kick now. And we want to get into that position. So the ball is here. And here's our shape. Our two center defenders are in the half space. I don't like this guy. Let's switch him out. And let's switch this guy out. 1, 2. So we're just going to be facing. I know this is like very kind of petty, but I want the players facing the ball. So yes, here we go. All right, perfect. Thanks for sticking with me through that. The idea is now to get into that position. So we have our two defenders, we have our fullbacks, which are here. We have our center defensive mid. We have our attacking midfields, which normally in a 4-3-3, which is what we're setting up to, right? Because eventually we're going to have one player here and one player there. But since we don't have that, this is what we would normally see. However, what I want is I want my two attacking mids in this goal kick to be up. Now you might ask yourself why, and that's a fantastic question. If I have 4 defenders, and that because I'm playing usually against a 4-3-1, and I have my players up here. Now these fullbacks can cheat, and now we really don't have an advantage. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing up, which will create a 3v2, which will force these players to push back. And now essentially what I've done is I've created space. Oh, I don't like that one. I'm still getting used to this. Well, the space would be here. You can see there's a giant space, and that's going to be space that we use to dribble the ball up. Now, when the ball is received by our center defenders, and let's just erase these, or we'll keep them for now. We want to get that ball to the wings. And the idea here is as soon as the ball leaves the defender's foot, I do not care if it goes to the fullback, to the center defender, if we try, you know, to look long, whatever your decision is, that's defender. As soon as that ball leaves their foot, we want to get our fullbacks into the half space, and we want our attacking mids And again, this is just, I'm so sorry, but oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. And we want to get our attacking mids into the wide space as soon as that ball leaves that center defender. So here's what it's going to look like. That ball is being passed. And we'll use the great arrows here. Pass. That ball is being passed from here to there. As that ball is being passed, our movement now goes this way into the wide space. And because the ball is on the strong side here, everyone shifts into 1/2 space. And this player, I would argue, is 1/2 space already shifted. So they're just going to make either that run into the center space or just a straight run. That's up to you. I'll kind of have that diagonal. That first touch for me has to be towards, and I know this isn't the dribble one, but towards the 1/2 space. We are playing against a 4-3-3, a 4-3-1, sorry. So here's what the other team looks like. As soon as I receive this ball and start making this run, there's going to be a lot of confusion here. And as soon as these players start to run, that's going to give me more space. As a result, by taking my first touch inside, I will be able to create a better passing lane towards the wing. Because what we don't want, and you know what, I'll do it this way. What we don't want, for example, is 2 straight lines. Because 2 straight lines is very easy to cut as a passing lane. There's no angle, which makes it really easy for that defender. So by switching and continuously having these angles and trying to get that ball in here, either with maybe a give and go or whatever, or a 1v1 into there, which a 1v1 would be okay because we are in an advantage, and you can argue, yes, that maybe that player's there, whatever. But as soon as we get here and now our player is in this situation, now we're able to get through passes. Whereas if they are just here, that's not really a good enough ball, right? That could easily be cut, I would argue. There's a decent 2v1 there. But if we're here, we can make this fantastic ball through, and now we're in their half. That's essentially how I want to build out. I want to make sure that in case we lose that ball, because this is probably the ball that's going to lose possession sometimes, that we have cover here in that middle, which is the least threatening, right? So if we had our fullbacks there, and this is what I see traditionally in that 4-3-3. Now what we have is a 4-against-1, which we just can't get out of the back, right? You would probably have this situation, and I would argue even that situation. And now you're pretty much facing their whole team, right? 7 players against what? 3, 4? That makes absolutely no sense. So we have to stretch them out. We have to give ourselves space to play. Whoops, that's our fullback. And the way that we do that is in this situation. And if they keep this up, by the way, right? If they decide to push up, that's absolutely fantastic, because now we have a 3v2, And now we can actually send that ball long into the wide space. So if we have that advantage, I'm not playing through this middle. Look at how crowded it is. That makes absolutely no sense. Instead, I'm playing this through ball in the air to the wide space, 3v2. Let's go. Let's attack, right? So let's erase all these yellows here. And again, I'm so sorry this is taking so long. This is just the software. And just go over everything so it makes a little bit more sense. Hopefully things are starting to come together. Oh. And I think I'm going to do a full episode this week, actually, on Coaching Soccer Weekly about the 9v9. But essentially, we want to create this situation. And this situation, when we lose the ball, is exactly where we want to be. Because look at the danger now. The danger is only in the wide space. It's not in the half space. It's not in the center space. We have cover everywhere in case we lose that ball. The only thing that will be a struggle will be for these players to come back. But if they were fullbacks, they would have to go all the way back, which is a huge mistake that I see a lot. I think it's a mistake. I mean, it's up to you. So instead, creating this power triangle, which would be, nope. Where are we here? Lines. Where are actual lines? Okay. All right. I don't have that, so I'm just going to use this. We have this power triangle here, where the players, if they ever get in trouble, they have 3 players that they can play with. 3 players. So if that ball comes over here and the player doesn't like it, all they have to do is go back, and then we can try somewhere else. Or we can go back and switch. We can switch and attack, whatever that is. But what I love here is that cover. And if they make that pass and it's too dangerous and we lose that ball, we still have 3 players in that center that they have to get behind. And as soon as we lose that ball, we now get super small and make it even harder for them. Okay. Hopefully this made some sense. But you have to essentially go in and really think about how your team is going to progress through the field. That's the most important thing here. And if you don't have that idea and you don't have that concept that the players understand, then there's not going to be a plan. If you go into battle without a plan, you're not going to win. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what I did wrong in the comments. I don't mind. But I'll do an episode this week on Coaching Soccer Weekly. That'll come out next Sunday. So look out for that. And yeah, thanks for listening.